Again, I want to say thank you to everybody. This is very exciting, and I want to tell you guys all a little bit about me, but first I kind of want to bring up the energy in the room a little bit. And I grew up in the South, and a little fun story, I lost my y'all a long time ago. So I flew in on Friday, and I arrived at 1 o'clock, and by 4 o'clock, my y'all was back already. So I want to say hey y'all to all of you guys, and I would love if everybody in the room could just scream hey y'all right back to me. So hey y'all. Hey y'all. Yeah, thank you so much. I feel like I'm home again. So to tell you guys about my story, I have had RSD for 2.5 years. 3 years ago, I was in a car accident. Parked on the freeway, as you say, just sitting in traffic, and there was a car flying at me at 70 miles an hour, not even seeing that there was traffic. Never even tapped his brakes, went slamming right into me at 70 miles an hour. Unfortunately, I braced myself. So I braced the steering wheel, I braced my feet, and because of that, I pretty much tore up my body. I tore ligaments and I tore cartilage from the bone in my wrist. And so I went in for a couple of wrist surgeries to try to repair the damage that had been done. And through those surgeries, I ended up with CRPS. Since I was diagnosed, it has spread from my right hand all the way up to my right shoulder, across my upper back, down my left leg, all the way to the toes from the hip. It's gone across my back now and now going into my next leg. However, it does not define me. I define me, and that's really what I want to talk to you guys about today. Now, I've been playing with this speech for weeks and weeks because I've been so excited to meet with you guys, and that's why there's nothing up on the board right now, because after the amazing, wonderful write-up that they put about me in our little program, I wanted to talk to you guys definitely about Food Heals, but I really want to inspire. So I kind of trashed the original, and we're gonna go a little off the cuff. We're gonna have some fun. And if anybody has any questions, I wanna make sure I will be outside afterwards if we don't have time, or I will try to have enough time at the end for everybody. So we've talked about how I have gotten CRPS and my symptoms. The way that I manage is with food. I'm a cookbook author. I'm completely and totally obsessed with food. I've been on cooking reality shows, so it was only natural that I wanted to approach CRPS and approach trying to heal myself with what I put in my mouth. And a little bit of background, the reason why I was on these shows had nothing to do with RSD. It had to do with my weight loss story. So I lost 150 pounds in a year, just to give you a little bit of background. And so learning that on how to fix my body, how to lose the weight with food, that's why I decided to start doing research. Now, I am not a nutritionist. I am not a doctor. I'm just like you guys here in this room. So I'm gonna talk to you guys about what has worked for me. That does not necessarily mean it's going to work for everybody. But when it comes to just changing how you eat a little bit, it sure can't hurt to try. It's not like, finding out if the medication will be covered or, trying to find a new doctor. This is something that everybody in this room can do right now. And I want to start with water. And everybody has water on their tables, and I can't imagine anything better than to see everybody start filling up their water glasses right now, because water is so good for your body. It helps to purify your body. It helps to give you the nutrients that you need. And best of all, if anybody in here is looking to lose weight, it helps to fill you up, keep you full, and keep your metabolism roaring. So please, please fill up your water glass. If you do nothing else that we talk about today, just drink one big glass of water from me and I will be super happy. So who am I? And thank you so much for the amazing, Christine has left, I believe, but she gave me such an amazing introduction. Thank you, sweetie. But I wanted to tell you guys who I am. So this January, I was on the television show called The Taste. It's on ABC, and it's with Nigella Lawson and Anthony Bourdain and Marcus Samuelsson. And thank you. I had an incredible experience. I had tried out for all of these different shows, and all of them asked me, for guys' grocery games, can you run through the grocery store, and grab groceries? No, absolutely not. I have CRPS. After being turned down for many of these shows, I went to my doctor and I said, what do you think? Can I compete? And he said, absolutely, you can compete. And I ended up getting a string of nerve blocks. They did help at the moment, not helping anymore. But I got a string of nerve blocks and went and wanted to compete without telling any of the producers, anybody on the show, that I had CRPS or RSD. I went on, and it was not easy. But they ended up picking me for a team. I got chosen by Marcus Samuelsson and got to cook for some of the most amazing chefs in the United States and in the world. I'm also a cookbook author. I have a book out called Fruit Infusion, and everybody has a card at their station here, or at their seat. There's a recipe on the back. So not only will this help you drink more water, but as we go through my list of great foods, every single thing on there will help you with your pain a little bit, and it'll also help boost your metabolism. Bonus. I'm the founder of Lose Weight by Eating. It's a worldwide known blog, and I highly recommend you guys look it up. I have my husband posting my food for pain relief on the top right now, so if it's not there now, it should be there sometime today. And then you guys can kind of follow along. I've also posted that information on my Twitter and on my Facebook feeds, and you can find that information on the back of the cards. So let's get right into food. You guys are making me hungry. It looks really good. And I wanted to talk about, first of all, because of my background, because I tried every diet out there and never lost any weight, I know for me, if you tell me you cannot have this, or you cannot have, say, for instance, bread, the first thing I'm going to want is bread, right? And so I want everybody in this room to focus on what to add as opposed to what to remove. Now, of course, if your doctor's telling you really need to change, remove gluten, follow along with your doctor. But try to concentrate on what you're adding, because if you keep adding all these good foods for you, you're gonna be too full and you're not gonna be able to eat the stuff that maybe your doctor would say isn't good, or maybe that might cause or exacerbate your pain. And I'm super excited to tell you, as I was sitting here watching the amazing speech that Dr. Kopra had delivered, he talked about vitamin C. And vitamin C is one of my favorite pain relievers. This morning, I went to the little coffee shop upstairs, and they have amazing fresh squeezed orange juice. These are the kind of things that can help you with your pain. And like I said before, you don't have to get a prescription for it. You can try it out. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But it's a great way to start. Vitamin C, in my research, I found strengthens your immune system, eases nerve pain, repairs damaged nerves, lowers your risk of developing autoimmune diseases, slows the aging process, and best of all, again, increases your metabolism. Some of the most rich foods in vitamin C are bell and sweet peppers, as well as hot peppers, jalapenos, they rock. Guava, papaya, thyme, and parsley. Kale is fantastic, as well as mustard greens, spinach, and garden cress. I also love broccoli, cauliflower. By the way, these are all on the blog, so don't feel like you have to be rushing to take notes. Brussels sprouts, oranges, limes, lemons, grapefruits, and then the obvious vitamin C's, the berries, cranberries, blackberries, strawberries, and cherries are fantastic. The redder they are, the more they're gonna help you with your pain. Another one, melon, and I know it was out there, so if anybody's in a lot of pain, go grab some melon and let me know afterwards how you're feeling. Maybe it'll help. Secondary to that, omega-3 fatty acids I found really also help with pain. They improve immune system function, decrease inflammation in your body, prevent nerve damage, and lessen nerve pain. Bonus. So great foods that are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, salmon, halibut, tuna, shellfish, again, kale, again, broccoli, again, spinach, strawberries, Brussels sprouts. So lots of the vitamin C's are also going to be omegas. So these I like to call a superfood. Then my last one is vitamin B12. And I know a lot of people in here probably, my best friend who came with me today to support me takes B12 every single day. If you're taking it, that's fantastic. Try to also get it into your body with food. Vitamin B12 deficiency is fairly common and can cause nerve pain itself. So by making sure you boost your vitamin B12 every single day, you're kind of doing damage control, or being proactive instead of reactive. Foods rich in vitamin B12 are farm-raised meat, poultry, eggs, milk, and other dairy products, fish and shellfish again, and beets for all of you vegetarians. These are the three that I want you guys to look for as you're looking at food. Now, keep in mind that as you cook food, it will lose half of its nutrition. So you grab a steak and you throw it on the barbecue, it's gonna lose half its protein that will be absorbed into your body just by cooking it. Now, we can't go out and eat raw steak, or we can, but we probably shouldn't. But you can eat other raw foods. You can have sushi to get in your salmon. You can have salads that are full of these great ingredients. You can do green smoothies, and I know they look a little funky, but I do have some great green smoothies on my website as well. And this is a great way, if you eat these foods raw, and if you eat them as fresh as possible, then you're gonna get more nutrition from them. It's going to absorb in your body better, and likely you will have less pain from it, and or will just feel better overall. So like I said, water is really, really key, and does everybody have their water? Kara, you should know better. But drink your water. Water truly is key. It helps keep your nerves healthy. It helps flush your system. And especially if you're taking lots of medication, just having some diet sodas that have tons and tons of chemicals in them, one here or there, that's not gonna hurt you. But if you're already taking pills and medication, you're just pretty much taxing your body more and more, and it's having to work harder and harder to digest this food to get what it needs to help you. So now that we've gotten the fun food out of the way, I wanted to talk to you guys about inspiration. I'm checking my time here. So I want you guys to keep dreaming. When I was on the taste, I got probably 3,000 emails the next day. So if anybody in this room sent me an email, I apologize. I probably got to about 200, but there was no way I could respond to all of them. There was a woman who had become so inspired by me being on the taste, and when I was kicked off the show, because it's like any other reality show, you get kicked off, it's your turn to go. She emailed me, and she was so inspired by the show, she told me, you know, I'm in a wheelchair, and my entire life, all I've ever wanted to do is open up a cupcake shop. And she said, in the week since I have seen you on the taste, and I'm gonna try not to get choked up, I have met with a property management person, I have searched and found the location in which I want to be, and I have hired somebody to come in and completely retrofit this current bakery so that I can wheel around it, and better yet, so that all of the people in the neighborhood and in the area can come into a very wheelchair accessible location. And I hope that that resonates with you guys, because even though I don't remember, thank you. Even though I do not remember this woman's name, she came to me and said, you inspire me. But I don't think she realizes how much she's inspired me. Like, I have inspired her, but she has inspired me back tenfold. She has given me a reason for this pain. So I'm in constant daily pain, as are the majority of you guys here in this room. But if I can find purpose to that pain, then it's a little bit easier to cope with. So I highly recommend that you guys look at CRPS as something that will bring you together with others. It will look at it as not so much a negative, but how can you look at it in a positive way? How can you inspire others? How can you show somebody, your neighbor who might be in a wheelchair, that, you know what, I'm in pain too, but I'm gonna do my dreams. I'm going to reach for my dreams. Now, back to dreams. My dreams had to change. No problem. I'm okay with that. Right after I was diagnosed with CRPS, I got the most amazing job offer ever to be the head editor of our local newspaper up in Paso Robles, where I am a food and wine writer. And I had to turn it down. And I was completely heartbroken. I cried about it for days. This is all I ever wanted to do. An editor, this is incredible. And I had to turn it down. And it really told me for a very, very long time, until I realized I can have a new dream. I can look at this in a positive manner, and I can find a new dream. Just like with going on the taste. I went on there. I found that my body was not strong enough to continue to do television. Food Network came to me and offered me a pilot, asked me to come in and shoot a pilot for them. And I had to turn it down, because I know that my body cannot hold up to that. And that's okay, because as somebody who watches the Food Network and sees and I adore her, Rachel Ray, with 10 different shows. I just yell at the TV and say, just quit one of them so somebody else can get your time slot. So I look at it that way, and I give somebody else that opportunity. But how can I change my dreams? Well, soon after I had to turn down the Food Network, I got a call from 3 different literary agents and ended up signing a book contract with William Morrow, one of the largest book publications in Manhattan. So you see, my dreams had to change. And had I taken that show with the Food Network, which was not guaranteed, it was just a pilot, I would not have been able to do the book. And the book is something I can do. If I'm in a lot of pain, maybe I can't test recipes today and stand in my kitchen, but I can lie in bed and I can type out the recipes I have tested. So this is how I look at it. Instead of concentrating on the negative, I concentrate on the positive. Do you guys all understand that? Does that get you a little excited? It gives my dreams purpose. It helps me see that my life is not lost. I just have to modify them. You know, anybody here who has kids, they understand that your plans, they change. And they change and they change and they change. And if we wallow and if we keep thinking, I really wanted to keep this job I had, I loved this job, or I really want to be able to go on the roller coasters at Disneyland, but it hurts now. If you keep focusing on the negative, you're just going to breed more negative. But if you focus on the positive, well, I can't do that amazing job, but man, I really have learned to cook, or I get so much more time with my family, or I'm reading more books than I've ever read. Or maybe I can't ride that roller coaster, but I can sit and people watch and go get a churro and hang out and enjoy taking photos of my family. If we try to look for the positive in these things, and I know I sound like a hippie, and that's okay, if we try to look for the positive in these things, then we will have a far better quality of life. And you just might be surprised that your new dreams will be far better than your original dreams. Just checking my time. So again, like I kind of touched on it a little bit, when I was on the Taste, I was standing for 18 hours a day on hard concrete. And the times when we did get to sit, they would give us those horrible metal chairs, you know, like the fold-down ones. And with somebody with hip pain, not working for me. We got into a situation where somebody from my team had to be eliminated. And I knew my team could all handle it. I knew they could all keep standing 18 hours a day and sitting on those cold metal chairs. And so I was able to say, you know what, I think that Sarah and Shayu and Dawn could all kick my butt. And so therefore, we have a better chance of winning as a team if I step down. And keep in mind, if it had been between me and another team member from another team, I would have fought to stay there. But I got that opportunity to be able to inspire my team members by saying, I'm gonna step back, I'm gonna sit on the sidelines, and I'm gonna cheer you guys on. And by doing that, and by coming out with CRPS, I ended up inspiring thousands who have turned around and inspired me tenfold back. And so I want to definitely talk about inspiring each other and finding a purpose for your pain. Now, when we first started, I had you guys all yell out, hey y'all. And can we do that again? Hey y'all. Hey y'all. We might not be able to walk. We might not be able to shake somebody's hand. We might not be able to have that great job we have, but we have our voices. We have our voices both through our voice box and also through social media. And I believe that it's everybody's job here in this room to tell at least 3 people about CRPS or RSD. We're never gonna make this a mainstream, well-known disease and get the funding that we truly need until we start using our voices. So I really want to inspire everybody here to use your voice, be it on social media or just with your friends. My best friend here, Kara, we've been best friends for over 25 years. She did not know about CRPS, and I explained it to her, and now she is one of my biggest advocates. She calls me and sends me information that I haven't even heard yet. And you never know, if you just reach out to your friends and you talk to them about it and you educate them, you just might end up getting the best support group that you've ever had. 1 second for a drink. Everybody drink your water. Now, we can all come together in a positive manner as well. I have a local support group I go to, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have support groups that you go to as well. I was feeling for a long time, I would go to these support groups, and it was great because we could vent to each other and kind of talk about our problems. But I always found that when I left, I was in more pain than when I arrived. Almost as though I had been focusing on the pain, where before I was maybe able to kind of put it in the back of my mind and maybe it wasn't so strong. And so I really want to encourage everybody as you go back to your support groups to try to focus on the positive, or at least not focus on the negative the entire time. When you guys come together and you talk about what's working for you, wonderful things that have happened for you, ways that you've been able to change your dreams or motivate others, you will come together in a more of a community. You'll be able to inspire each other, and most likely you will leave with less pain. And as much as it is so important to have somebody to vent with, I absolutely believe in that. I think for a monthly meeting or even a weekly meeting, it should only be a 5 or 10 minute part of the meeting. It really, truly should be about positivity. And I think that's really what I want to impart on everybody here. Try to be positive. And I know that it's so much easier said than done. But if you constantly try, if you just make an effort to try to be positive, to try to look at the positive and all of the negatives, what am I learning from this? How is this changing me for the better? How am I growing? If you can look at the positive, and if you can find purpose in your pain, then you can have a far better quality of life, and you'll find that you're more up for trying new things. You've got more energy. You're more excited, and you're able to walk around in cowboy boots and stand in front of all y'all. On a normal day, I would be in bed. But because I focus on the positivity, I can stand up here with all of you guys and talk to you. So try to focus on the positivity. I want you to always keep asking questions and never settle. When I was first diagnosed with CRPS, my doctor put me on 6 different medications, and I felt terrible. I would snap at my daughter. I have a 5-year-old daughter. I would snap at her. I would snap at my husband. I had a very short fuse. I was not this chipper gal you see standing in front of you. It completely changed who I was. And I didn't want to settle on that. I didn't want that to be who I was. This is who I am. I'm happy. I'm smiling. I'm positive to a fault, as I usually say. And so I kept asking questions, and I kept doing research. And so as much as your doctors, I'm sure, are brilliant and wonderful, don't settle. Go home and do your own research. Do research on what will help. Do research on Facebook, do research on Google. All you have to do is open up the Google tab and type in any question. What foods are good for CRPS? What treatments are good for CRPS? What local groups are there for CRPS or RSD? Just type in those questions and keep asking questions. When we stall, when we just say yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, we're not pushing the envelope. And clearly, as we're all here together, and we're mostly all here in pain, there is not an answer yet. We have not found that answer, and we're not going to find it unless us as a community push forward and demand answers. And demanding answers doesn't mean you demand them from your doctor. You need to do your research. They can only do so much. And many of us see pain management doctors who see people with fibromyalgia and back pain and all kinds of other things. They have a job to do. It's our job to take care of ourselves, to get that knowledge, and to stop being complacent and just push on and keep asking questions. So I really recommend that if you guys have any questions that you don't get answered by any of the speakers here today or in the next week, look it up on Google or in Yahoo or whatever you prefer. Just type in questions. There is a wealth of knowledge out there. And for people who are not comfortable with the internet, I promise you, you will find that it's so much easier to use than you ever thought. So before I open up to questions, I wanted to remind you guys that tomorrow I will be on The Doctors. They brought me on for weight loss, but I strong-armed them into talking about RSD a little bit. So I hope everybody out there, not just for my sake, but for the sake of RSD and CRPS, please share and tell your friends to watch. It will be an incredibly motivating and inspiring show for all of you. And again, please make sure to use your voices and keep asking questions. And with that said, does anybody have any questions? Yes. On The Doctors, was I able to mention CRPS? I was. They did ask me specifically to call it RSD because they had already done a show on RSD, which I'm sure most of you guys are aware. But we did talk about it. They asked me about my weight loss in conjunction with CRPS and how it's, or as they said, RSD. We talked about how the weight loss itself has helped with my RSD, and also how my diet has helped with RSD. And back to the diet that I went over with the vitamin B12, omega-3 fatty acids, and vitamin C. You guys can find recipes, and you can find the listing of all of the highest nutrient content ingredients all on my website, which is on the back of all those little cute little fruit infusion cards. It's loseweightbyeating.com. It's all free, because I believe this knowledge should be free for all of us. Any other questions?